It's interesting you bring up the September 12th rally. The man credited with kind of organizing that and putting the fire in a lot of that passion is Glenn Beck, who didn't necessarily help the situation when he said that President Obama is a racist with a deep-seated hatred for white people. Do you think that helps this at all? Distance away from?
Well, of course it doesn't help.
Okay. Do you agree with that?
But Glenn Beck had no major role in organizing Tea Parties. Listen, I'm a political conservative. I can tell you he was involved in the Tea Parties, and it certainly isn't Glenn Beck. I'm not a big fan of Glenn Beck. I think Glenn Beck is about ratings, and if Glenn Beck thinks he can go on TV and cry, or wave a flag, or jump up and down, or drop his pants, Glenn Beck will do it. He, I think, is the most vulgar, kind of expression of that kind of, 24-hour TV, kind of talk show thing.
Former U.S. President Jimmy Carter has said that the opposition toward President Obama has been racist. Do you agree with that statement?
I think that you would probably have rejection and/or opposition from the Republican Party if the candidate was blue. It's an ideological objection.
And we actually enter the 28 days of the first 100. How do you all think he's doing so far?
Well, I think he has avoided a lot of mistakes that could have happened. I think he's still riding the wave of enthusiasm. There have been a couple of problems with nominations and not unpaid taxes, but I think that's relatively minor in the big picture so far.
There are these huge initiatives. The stimulus package is a huge initiative. I am concerned. I think it could lead to, as we start to borrow more, because, it creates a huge deficit.
Why do you think he chose Marine Palin?
Well, I think he actually chose her for several reasons. I think from a political standpoint, if you just look at that decision, it was actually quite brilliant politically as a strategic move.
It's a good strategy perhaps for winning the election,
absolutely.
But it's not a very good strategy for governing. It also used women in the sense that she is a symbol not of a woman and is being used in that way, which is rather distressing.
Why are we going to be just as safe under a Democratic administration as we would be and as we seem to be under
First of all, you can't show any proof that any one of those things has stopped any attacks of any sort.
Khalid Sheikh Mohammed.
Oh, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Look, let's have a fact. Let's have a fact here. If America stands for torture, and that's what you call aggressive interrogation
Is
techniques,
waterboarding torture?
Absolutely, waterboarding is torture. What books you go and get in the library, what articles you choose to read on the internet, that's your business.
One of the things that really gets a lot of people energized is shows like The Daily Show and The Colbert Report, both of which air on Comedy Central. Critics have said that it's not really a good thing, that it's a hindrance because the people aren't getting their news on regular stations like CBS, ABC, things like that. Do you guys think it's a great thing or a hindrance?
I think that anything that gets news out to a wider range is inevitably a good thing. I think that whether it be The Daily Show and The Colbert Report or the internet or more traditional forms of media, anything that helps create a more informed electorate.
I talked to some CSUN students and the community about their experiences with trying to quit smoking, and this is what they had to say.
I tried Nicorette, got really sick. The problem with Nicorette and all those other things is they give you too much nicotine, so you might feel a little sick, and if you don't quit effectively, you'll end up smoking more cigarettes, which I am now.
Right now, at least I don't bring cigarettes with me to school.
It was really easy. I don't understand when people say that they get addicted to nicotine, or maybe I just don't have an addictive personality, because I was like, no more.
Pamela, can the gums make people sick?
It can. Yes, it can. There are some things you can do if you don't, you can take a half a piece of the gum.
I gotta ask you, you're 27 years old. What does it feel like to get a check for $150,000 for playing video games?
I mean, it's crazy exciting, when I won it, it was really hard to win that big tournament. It was on 60 Minutes, and it was on MTV2 and stuff like that. So I think the biggest thrill was actually just winning it.
They say that these violent games incite violence in young people, particularly boys, and it could even desensitize young people to acts of violence. How do you respond to that criticism?
I think it's all a bunch of crap, personally. I think, gaming is for us, for me through high school, it was a release of tension and stress.
Is there a specific audience that you guys are targeting?
For our company, Equal, we don't have a specific demographic. Like we want to be a broad-based, digital entertainment company. Certainly with Lonely Girl, with our new show Harper's Globe and Cape Modern, they all kind of skew towards a late teenage, mystery, darker kind of, like a lot of our fans like Buffy and Lost and stuff. However, there are other shows that we're doing this year that are completely different.
What's it like being an African-American actor? Honestly, I'd say it's lovely because you have a way of standing out. It's hard, it's challenging. I wouldn't even tell people it's hard. The challenges are basically, what are you going to do? How are you going to adapt? Because you can sit there and cry about it, but mainly it's great to make your own opportunities.
Can you tell us a little bit about why you decided to start Bargain Babe?
Yeah, I had started a blog at the Los Angeles Daily News here in the Valley and had a lot of fun writing The Bargain Hunter, as it was called, and I wrote a weekly column based on the blog. And, I was really focused on Los Angeles because that's where the paper's based. But I felt because of the recession that there was really a lot of potential to help people across the country. And so I wanted to start my own blog that could be nationally in focus. So I try to find deals and strategies to help people save money that are really applicable across the country.
How is the crisis affecting spending across the state? Like, where are people seeing budget cuts?
Well, I'm not sure the cuts have really hit yet, but
No.
they'll be coming. School districts are now delivering pink slips. County agencies are hiring freeze. The city of Los Angeles is facing a potential $4 billion budget deficit out of I believe a $7 or $8 billion budget. That's half of the budget.
If I could jump in on Tom's point, part of the frustration that we deal with in the business community or the community at large is looking at how government in general responds to a slowdown in the economy or a cutback. If government were a business, they'd have been bankrupt long ago. If the state of California or the city of Los Angeles operated like a for-profit business, they would have gone under a long time ago because they just don't have the revenue to sustain the operation that they currently have.
Chloe, how does your sorority support people coming out or with being accepted?
Well, since we are a queer-based social sorority, we are already expecting for our members and prospective members to be from the community. We also have allies that are members, so we're trained in helping those who are LGBTIQ identifying to come out to their friends as well as their teachers or whoever.
David Joyner, the man behind the costume in one of the most popular and successful children's programs of all times. Let's take a look.
A very magical place where we can use our imaginations.
How did you get to be a part of all that?
She asked me if I would do it, and when I finally went to the audition, I just fell in love with this character.
What draws you to picking up a comic book and reading it?
If it's an already existing comic, anything from Batman, Spider-Man, Green Lantern, I don't just necessarily like seeing more of the same. There are certain themes and all those classic characters that a fan will expect if they're going to shell out the money, pick up the comic or the graphic novel, open page one and say, well, here I go.
I want to turn our focus to an old Negro spiritual known as We Shall Overcome.
Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday.
Good job.
Wonderful. Thank you.